I remember reading somewhere in there that one of the reasons you do this job is because you like talking to people. So I figured that probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, I don't love the writing part, to be honest, but it's the talking to people I really enjoy. So join me for my Zoom talk show. When the sort of real boom of that let's say smartphone startups and app startups, that wave was starting. Like people I knew were dropping out of law school and quitting their jobs and just chasing this thing. And it often wasn't these ideas that they were so passionate about or wedded to. It was the dream was to sort of start up. And it became this sort of trope. Here's how you start the company. Here's what you do. You have this round of funding and that round of funding, and then you go for your Series A and your Series B and Series C. There's this weird Orwellian language of like, we're iterating, we're pivoting, we're going to hit that hockey stick. And it was just like all these check marks, but there's just something about it that's sort of soulless. And yet that captured almost all the attention and oxygen of what entrepreneurship was in the popular imagination, in the media, in the books that I'm sure you have been selling very well, and what people sort of thought an entrepreneur meant. And that happened at the personal level, at the business level, at the academic level, at the financial level, and it really sort of captured that society. But the thing you have to realize is like, it's tiny. Like
Right.
The number of companies that receive venture capital funding in America in a given year is like, I don't know, 7,000. Right? And when you consider that there's 2 or 3 million companies started in the US in a year overall, that's, not even a drop in the ocean.
Yeah. And it's so ironic, right? That you're like, this is this iconic one in a million kind of person. So let's all do everything exactly like that.
Right.
Like it's a very great.
Yeah. Elon Musk was a jerk to his, he had 3 wives. I should have 3 wives. Yeah. Elon Musk fired his secretary because she asked for a thing. Like, I'm going to be a jerk like Elon Musk. How many people, like the best is Elizabeth Holmes. She's my favorite, right? Because it was this wonderful scam, but everyone believed her. Why? Because she dressed like Steve Jobs. Yeah. She was like, here you go, black turtleneck, check. Right.
I know.
Like everyone checks. Say it's secret.
Drop a lot of F-bombs and you got to like fire people and you have to just like be a crazy person in a particular way. And that's what an entrepreneur looks like. But as you talk about that's
as I've seen you do at the store, like you're just constantly walking around in a black turtleneck. You're inferior. You're an idiot.
The other day, but but that seems so not sustainable if there are real stakes involved. It's like it's really easy to not play by the rules when like there are no consequences for you.
Right.
Like if you fail, like you have a really deep cushion to land on. And a lot of the entrepreneurs in your book, they don't have that kind of cushion. It's a genuine risk for them. So talk about some of them. Talk about the people who are like, this is kind of an all or nothing thing for me.
Well, I'm going to talk about one who I believe I see here. Hold on, I'm going to check the name. Nice. Tracy Abalski.
Oh my gosh, hero! I'm so like starstruck that you're here. I got to get out and see your place.
So Tracy, who was living in Fort Greene before she went out to Rockaway Beach, was a pastry chef and worked in all sorts of restaurants around Manhattan. Won all sorts of awards, got all sorts of write-ups. But she got into surfing, and she was out surfing in Rockaway with her friend Meredith, and eventually moved out there with her husband Alex because they wanted to be by the beach and surf. And Tracy just got tired of the grind of working in kitchens where the chefs were, sexually assaulting the wait staff and just being jerks and doing what chefs do. Sick of the hours, sick of a boss telling her that she had to work during a snowstorm when she wanted to get home to her husband and her dog. Just sick of being paid less than men doing the same job as her and just wanting to have that freedom. Right. And so Tracy moved, she was out in Rockaway Beach and she started her own bakery. She started at first out of an abandoned shack in a fishing marina. And she would bake croissants and cookies and stuff and sell it to these salty fishermen who would take her out for a ride. She'd, smoke a joint, look at the sunset. Like she went into entrepreneurship, not to get rich, but to have freedom. And she gained that. She gained that freedom. She wakes up by the beach. She goes surfing. She bikes to her place. She has her own bakery. she works there all day. She plays the music she wants. She makes the food she wants to do. She sets the rules. She does it when she closes when she wants to close. Some days she's like, fuck it, I'm going surfing. It's 2:30. Like, sends out a message on Instagram, puts up a sign, goes, hits the surf, because it's her business. It's her freedom that she has. That's something that, you can't have that type of business in the Silicon Valley startup myth. But that is a reason why a lot of people go into business for themselves. And that's a beautiful thing about entrepreneurship. I like to say, the only two things you're guaranteed in entrepreneurship are freedom and risk, right? And they're inseparable. You can't have one without the other. But the freedom is the thing that everyone gets. It's the freedom to do what you choose to do with your business.